Hello panels, my name is Jacros Vinigada and our research is entitled The Resource Capability for the Bureau of Fire Protection in Managing Disasters. Due to the above average rainfall, fire frequency ranges from yearly in the tropical savannas to occasional large-scale burns in the central Australian grasslands. The wildfire management organizations in Canada are at a crossroad. Pre-suppression and suppression costs are increasing while project funding is not. Increased wildfire disasters are a result of the effects of climate change and the expanding interface values at danger of strain suppression effectiveness. The Philippines continues to be plagued by catastrophic fires, including some of the worst disasters in history. We all know that firefighting is a dangerous profession. When it comes to putting out fires, Filipino firefighters are one of the world's bravest. They've been known to charge at burning structures while others flee, regardless of their insufficient firefighting equipment. According to the book Wildfire Management Review, Challenges and Opportunities, authored by Flanagan et al., people and significant factors in fire ecosystems must be fire smart, and wildfire authorities must use a threat-appropriate response strategy to enable more wildfire on the landscape. Canada's wildfire control capabilities and ability to cohabit with wildfire must also be strengthened and altered. To achieve this more important horizontal collaboration, increased resource sharing, investment in building novel decision support system, and a stronger focused management and protection are all required. Disasters is experienced worldwide, and the Philippines continues to be plagued by catastrophic fires, including some of the worst disasters in history. And the fire occurrence in Davao City have been significantly higher in the past years, and as researchers found out that there is only a limited number of research investigating fire and fire-related deaths. And the objectives of our study is that we are aiming to determine the level of the resource capability of the Bureau of Fire Protection in terms of technical systems, skills and knowledge base, managerial systems, values and norms. And also, we would like to determine the level of the disaster management of the Bureau of Fire Protection in terms of mitigation phase, preparedness, response, and recovery. And lastly, as researchers would like to investigate the relationship between the level of the resource capability and the level of the disaster management of the Bureau of Fire Protection. The results of this study may bring awareness regarding the resource capability of the Bureau of Fire Protection in managing disasters. These can also be utilized as a basis for the criteria of an enhancement scheme, which may provide solutions to the aspect recognized in this study that needs improvements concerning equipment and workforce. And lastly, this study may serve as a reference for future researchers. Us researchers are mainly focusing on the level of the resource capability, the level of disaster management, and the relationship between the variables among the Bureau of Fire Protection in Davao City. This study is limited to Davao City only, and we chose the citizens of Davao City as the respondents of this study.
Methods. Participants. The participants will include citizens of Davao City. The researchers will employ a random sampling in determining the participants. The researchers will also utilize the sampling technique to ensure that everyone has an equal chance of being chosen. The researchers will use Slovin's formula to calculate the sample size required for this study. Materials or instruments. The researchers will employ a researcher-made questionnaire, the Disaster Risk Reduction and Risk Management Survey questionnaire by Robust 2014. The first questionnaire will measure the resource capability of the BFP. The second questionnaire will be utilized to gauge disaster management. It has 4 indicators: mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. Design and procedure. This study will employ a quantitative descriptive research design. Quantitative research design employs several empirical approaches to examine a phenomenon. This design used objective analysis to uncover patterns and relationships among data points, which are frequently numerical. Quantitative research summarizes the findings mathematically. The descriptive research design is suitable in this study since the researchers will measure the level of resource capabilities and the level of disaster management of the Bureau of Fire Protection. The researchers will also establish an association between the two variables. The researchers will follow procedures for data collecting for the study after receiving approval from the panel members. Following the approval, the researchers will begin to acquire data for the study using the processes and procedures outlined below. The researchers will provide a copy of the informed permission to each chosen research volunteer. The researchers will present the questionnaire to the participants after receiving signed consent from the subjects. The researchers will present the questionnaire to the participants after receiving signed consent from the subjects. Furthermore, the researcher will retrieve the survey questionnaires after completing the survey items. Finally, the researcher will collate and organize all of the information received from the respondents, which will be subjected to statistical analysis. The researchers will interpret and examine the statistical data. The researchers will draw conclusions and recommendations from the findings of the study.